Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. Our next story takes us out to the Big Apple, giving you a live look outside of our Fox television studios there in New York City as Sean Diddy Combs' ex-girlfriend is set to return to the witness stand today. This after testifying at the music mogul's sex trafficking trial. It was a day of emotional and graphic testimony. Right now, we want to check in with Fox 5 New York's Briella Tomasetti. She joins us live in Lower Manhattan with what Cassie Ventura had to say. Briella, good morning to you.
Yeah, Gina, I should note that this is the first time Cassie Ventura has made any sort of public comment about her relationship with Sean Diddy Combs, but her story helped lead to his eventual arrest and indictment on federal charges. Yesterday, she told it all in court. During her first day of testimony, the 38-year-old R&B singer went into excruciating detail about Combs' so-called freak-offs, which prosecutors have described as drug-fueled sex parties. Ventura told the jury she met Combs at 19 years old and was just 22 when he asked her to participate in the first freak-off, explaining that she felt humiliated and confused, but ultimately happy that he was satisfied. She said Combs dictated every aspect of those encounters, which sometimes lasted up to 72 hours, and recorded them as a form of blackmail. Ventura testified the freak-offs and other aspects of the couple's relationship came with physical abuse. She recalled, quote, "He would smash me in my head, knock me over, drag me, kick me, stomp me in the head if I was down." And when asked how often she was abused, he said, quote, "Too frequently." In 2023, Combs and Ventura reached an 8-figure settlement one day after she accused him of rape and abuse in a civil suit. The now infamous video of Combs kicking and dragging her down a hotel hallway in 2016 is considered to be a key piece of evidence. Defense lawyers admitted Combs could be violent, but maintained that everything was consensual, adding that nothing he did amounted to sex trafficking or racketeering. Deanna Paul, a former New York prosecutor not associated with this case, weighed in on the testimony.
It was compelling and emotional and impactful testimony to hear her go through, the course of their relationship from start to almost finish. All of this at the end of the day is not whether or not he was a domestic abuser or a good person or engaged in this type of sexual behavior. That's not sex trafficking, and that doesn't make him a racketeer.
And Cassie will continue testifying today. The defense has yet to cross-examine her, but in doing so, they will be allowed to question her credibility and also try and poke holes in her accusations. For now, though, we're live here in Lower Manhattan outside federal court. Gina, back to you.
All right, Briella, thank you so much. And as we continue with this top story, we want to bring into the conversation criminal defense attorney David Seltzer. David, thank you so much for joining us again on Live Now from Fox.
Good morning. Thank you.
So, David, let's dissect. We just heard from Fox 5 New York's Briella Tomasetti, as well as another attorney not associated with this case. What is the very latest? Yesterday was the first time we saw Cassie Ventura on the witness stand, very pregnant, yet having to relive and recount those horrific moments that she endured allegedly with Sean Diddy Combs.
What we're seeing now emerge are a lot of the interesting storylines about the case. One thing is clear, this case has lots of domestic violence issues, and no one is condoning domestic violence. It's terrible and should never happen. But what we are not seeing so far is the elements of racketeering, sex trafficking, and prostitution. This is a state case all day long, and you have to remember, Cassie testified that she hasn't seen Mr. Combs since 2018. So the statute of limitations on all state charges has likely expired. Or has expired, but depends on where these things took place. Every state has different statute of limitations. So the only choice the government has is to bring these federal racketeering charges. But you're not seeing in the case, and we're not hearing from the courtroom, sufficient elements to prove the sex trafficking allegations or the other charges. What's also very interesting is they keep talking about this video. And I read something yesterday about the video was the focal point of their case, and that it was in the middle of a freak-off where Cassie tried to escape. But if that's the key, one question the jury is not going to hear or see, because I haven't seen it exist yet, is where's all the other video footage of all the other people coming and going from that supposed freak-off and hotel room?
David, that's a great point. And for many people, they are thinking we might not ever see that video. There were some rumblings. Of course, it wasn't in court documents, or maybe it hasn't come forth just yet. But people saying that with certain parties like this, you're not even allowed to have your phone. Maybe you're dropping your phone off at the door to where you aren't allowed to record these so-called freak-offs. Do you think the requirements and what people were forced to do to allegedly come in and participate will aid or go against this case?
The consensual aspect of this case is the entire defense theory. So people are going to come to the stand and testify that I was there voluntarily, I was paid, and I was a participant. We're only hearing about a few people, victims 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I believe victim 3 has gone missing or not hearing for trial at this point, according to what I'm hearing from the government side. But at this point, the video we're seeing right now regarding that freak off that we're seeing all over the news is not from a person's cell phone. It's from the hotel surveillance. So if people were coming and going for that freak off, there would be more hotel surveillance.
David, with your expertise, again, today too marking the second day of witness testimony of Cassie Ventura, this has a lot of the viewers wanting to know, okay, how long will this trial last? You know, a lot of things to uncover, and I'm sure a lot of evidence might come forth, even evidence that wasn't originally there.
Well, the length of this trial is going to become another problem and storyline for the defense and the government, more so, I believe, for the government, because Cassie's testifying on day 2 of what's anticipated to be an 8 to 10 week trial. So then the jury is going to have to recall all of this testimony way at the end. And yes, the parties are going to summarize it in closing arguments, but what's more prevalent is going to be the last piece testimony they hear. So the timeline is definitely something that everyone has to take into account.
And for those that don't have your criminal expertise, and obviously we don't have cameras inside of the courtroom, so people are pretty much getting their updates from you and I, and then what we do with Fox 5 New York, maybe attorney comments or family comments as they enter or exit the courtroom. What are key things that the audience needs to keep in mind as all of this plays out? What are key words that we need to be listening to as we get remarks outside of the courthouse?
So you can tell as a defense attorney or even as an attorney that Cassie has been prepped for testimony. She's trying to drop keywords that the government needs to meet for their burden of proof, like bribery, domestic abuse, striking, hitting, all the different words that the law requires the jury to hear to meet their burden. The burden of proof is beyond a reasonable doubt. So everybody on both sides of the aisle is trying to show the jury whether they do or do not meet those arguments to meet that burden. And that's the key here. And like you said, we're not seeing it in real time. There's no cameras in federal court. There's no recording devices in federal court. So we're just hearing everything secondhand to see if those parties can meet the burden. And so far, what I'm hearing is it's going to be a long road for the government.
David Seltzer, truly a pleasure having you join us again on Live Now from Fox. We enjoy having you here. Hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you.